Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day so far. Today we're going to talk about karmics, soulmates, and twin flames. So I've experienced all three in my life. So I am going to be giving my opinions of, what I believe them to be, what it's like, the relationship, and how you can kind of better detect watching this, which one you're kind of dealing with, okay? Should you deal with one? Now we're going to start from lowest vibration to the highest, okay? So we're going to start off with karmics. Karmics are usually the ones you have to learn the most lessons from. They come in, you definitely, before we get started, agree for all of these scenarios to come in before you come down. It's all about soul evolution, guys. It's not about running away together. It's not about being together. It's always about your soul evolution. So your higher self will definitely set these situations up, okay, for you to evolve. Now, whether you pass the test or not, that's it'll vary person to person. But I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. You do kind of sign up for this, okay? It's all about your evolution. And through relationships, that's the way we're kind of pushed to do that, okay? So karmics. Karmics are usually the ones that come in that you learn the most lessons from, should you pass, okay? You will find that when you meet them, there's a je ne sais quoi about it. You're really attracted. I wouldn't say, it's almost like you do feel a little residue. And I'm talking mainly about love relationships right now. I'm not talking about friendships and all that, okay? This is mainly about love relationships. But when they come in, I would say you're intrigued, not to the level of a twin flame, but you're definitely intrigued. There's an attraction usually, and you're pulled in. You could have a small obsession with them. When I say small, at that time when you have it, it feels like an obsession. But like, again, I'm comparing this to a twin flame. The twin flame is like, that's on, that's an obsession that is like, you might think you might need to go to a mental institute, okay? So this is like an obsession, but not to the magnitude of a twin flame, but you do feel that, okay? You will also usually feel with the karmic, when a karmic comes in, that there's stuff that's poking you, in the back of your mind, that this is probably not a good idea. It feels a little off. It feels strange a bit. You kind of have doubts about the person, but you go with it, okay? So it's usually really like a learning lesson. It's like that first step to graduation to get to the next. But most people go with it, okay? Even though you'll feel red flags, you will feel like something's off, maybe you can't trust the person. This is what a karmic usually feels like. Now, the relationship is usually rocky. It's not a smooth relationship. It has a lot of issues. When I experienced a karmic, I'm going to get very personal here, okay? Because I don't mind doing that here on this platform. But when I experienced a karmic, this is a person who, it got very violent. It got very violent. I actually almost lost my life, okay? The person did, they were physically abusive. And it did get to the point where I almost kind of passed out from suffocation. But luckily that person took their hands off me in time, okay? But you will find it could be very tumultuous like that. But again, you're still attracted. And you will find that you'll kind of go in circles with them. It'll be calm, then there'll be a problem. Then it'll be calm, then it'll be a problem. And it keeps going like that until you learn. Until you learn and really realize and sit back and say, like, what am I supposed to learn? You're usually learning from karmics boundaries, what you will no longer accept in your life. It usually has that at the forefront of learning with karmics, because karmics will test you. They'll test your boundaries. They'll, they will really, even in a way, strip you of your dignity. It could go that far as well too. I really do feel like, with karmics, it's pretty serious. And, I did have one before this person. It wasn't that to that magnitude. The person was a cheater, but it can be like that too, where, you have somebody in your life and they're constantly cheating. This is a karmic, okay? There's usually something of a karmic debt to be paid off. Now, the interesting thing about the one that I was with that almost took my life is that, and I don't know if this is because I'm an aware person or I'm open or I'm psychic, but I knew at a point in that relationship, I started to feel like we had met each other, like we had kept meeting each other lifetime to lifetime. And it felt like to me that this person might have even taken my life in a previous life, or I could have done something back to them, and it's like coming back on me, okay, in this life. Now, sometimes getting away from them, karmics, can be very, very hard. It's usually a process because it's almost like, you know, I don't want to say this, but I'm just going to go with the way I feel. It's evil. There's something evil about karmics. I don't know. And when I say evil, I don't mean like the person, but there's an energy that surrounds it. It's so toxic, and it can be almost like you feel like you are being chased by the devil in a sense, okay? Because it's going to be very hard to get away from them. Sometimes it could be, you know, a lot more easier than others, but, you know, you will get pulled in and sucked back in. So it's really the ultimate test, I feel like. You know, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on twin flames. I don't know that I feel that. I feel like the karmic is the worst scenario to be in. It's of a very low vibration. Yes, you're learning, so yeah, yay, great, but it's usually through a lot of trauma. You know, either you're being disrespected, cheated on, I don't know, hit, you know, physically abused. And yes, these can come through in family members as well too. You know, bosses, whatever, but I'm not here to talk about that. I want to just talk about it in love relationships for now, or then this video is going to be like 4 hours, okay? So that's usually what the karmic is like. And you will find that when you do and are able to kind of finally learn the lesson and pull away, that's usually when a soulmate will come in, okay? So I'm kind of saying that to take you into the next one. So what's interesting, I'm going to share you a personal story. So when I was in that was actually a person I was with right before my husband. And when I was about to like disappear, because I had to with that, I had to literally disappear off the face of the earth. I had to leave my apartment, just disappear, okay? I heard this voice in my head, which is my intuition, telling me that if you don't leave this man, you're not going to meet the man that you're supposed to be with, okay? I didn't really know what that was, but I just knew I had to like do something quick. And I also felt like if I didn't move, that would be the end for me, okay? So funny enough to say that when I did leave that person and I kind of disappeared out of my apartment, I believe it was like April 1st, I actually met my husband in June, okay? So June of that year. So April, May, June, like 3 months later, okay? So I was kind of, you know, I hit the nail on the head with that one. That was accurate, okay? So, because he came in quick. But like I said, a lot of people, going back to the karmic, a lot of people stay in those lower density, you know, relationships, and it can be a very sad thing when people don't graduate, because you'll never experience anything more beautiful than that. And, you know, you just kind of stay in this constant, you know, cycle of pain. I know many people who are in their 60s right now who are still in karmics, and they've never got to experience a soulmate. And it's really sad. It's really sad. So again, it goes back to your evolution, the soul evolution. You know, what you achieve down here. Now, if you are a person who has not experienced a karmic and you have pretty good boundaries for yourself and blah, blah, then you might not need to learn that, okay? You might not need to learn that. So if you're watching this video and you can't relate, maybe your soul doesn't need to learn that, okay? Maybe you've kind of, you know, were maybe brought up in like the right family and they taught you early on. That's what I find sometimes, usually. People won't kind of meet people like that sometimes because maybe it was instilled in them as a child to kind of like, you know, what to do and all that. But, you know, and maybe they had really great relationships with their parents. You know, sometimes it varies like that. So yes, so that's the karmic. That's what it's like. The karmic will keep you in a state of, you know, depression, you know, stagnation. You don't usually grow with a karmic, okay? The karmic will pull you down. The karmic is usually has a lot of issues on their own as well too. So how can one uplift the other, or how can, it doesn't work like that, okay? They'll usually bring you down to their BS, okay? And it's very difficult. Everything is energy. How are you supposed to evolve when you are attached to someone like that, right? So let's move on now because we're almost 10 minutes in. So soulmate now. What it feels like when you meet the soulmate. The soulmate is the one that comes in and it's very calm. It's very calm. My husband is my soulmate of 14 years, okay? It's very calm. It's very secure. It's like you meet them and then they're doing everything right. They're calling you on time. They might be very practical or stable or predictable, and they make their intentions known usually very quickly. You'll find with a soulmate, it's like right away, maybe within weeks. My husband, within 3 weeks, was like, I want to marry you. I want you to move into my apartment. He wanted to save me, okay? He wanted to save me. I never even said anything to him about my past, but he just was like, I love you. You're it for me. I feel it. Like, it's just, whatever. Okay. So it's usually very calm. It's very nice. The soulmate, it kind of is like a cloak of love that you just kind of it's like a security blanket almost in a way that feels like a cloak of love, not a security blanket, but it's just like being kind of like the way I felt when I met mine was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It was so surreal. It was like, I don't know. It's like, I never felt that way before. And I just felt like the person's intentions were really like, I could feel like it was like true. And it didn't feel sketchy to me. So you don't have any of those weird vibes, like you did with the Karmic. You feel very safe, very safe. Now, the soulmate relationship will be a very calm one, okay? That person will be usually your biggest supporter. Things go very easy. Again, like you're not going to experience a lot of like, upsetness or the person doing bad things. In 14 years, my husband's never lied to me. He's never cheated on me. He never not answered his phone. Like it's like that. But I will say with the soulmate, now, this depends on how evolved you are, okay? How evolved you are along the way. I found with my soulmate, even though it was very nice and everything, you don't feel this energy of being pushed to do better, okay? It can become very comfortable. And that's another thing too. A soulmate will feel almost like family. So even though this is a person who I met to kind of be with in a marriage, that person can feel like your brother, your father, everything all in one. It's very interesting, okay? And I don't mean that in a sick way, but it feels like it's just so comfortable, okay? You could be yourself. You could say whatever you want to them. They won't think you're weird. They don't judge you. And again, they're like usually your biggest supporter. But the soulmate, it can get very comfortable. I wouldn't say that with a soulmate, you feel like you're pushed like outside of your comfort zone, okay? Because that's where the twin flame comes in, okay? But with a soulmate, it's very hard to break away from that once you find them. So should you be with your soulmate when a twin flame comes in, you're most likely not going to ever leave your soulmate to go be with that person, okay? It's going to be very rare, very, very rare, like, a 1%er, okay? The soulmate is just too comfortable. So that's kind of where it can kind of work like in a good way, but also in a bad way, because I don't know that comfortability in life is, not that I want to say that it's not that great, but again, if you're a person of purpose and you're aware of what life is, you got to keep going, you got to keep going outside of your comfort zone and keep like kind of evolving, right? So it's interesting, I don't know how much more I want to say about a soulmate. There's not really that much, like I've already, put out the great key pointers. But again, like for me, the only downside is that you don't really feel like a soulmate will push you. It can be very comfortable. They don't necessarily push you outside. They kind of really accept you for who you are, but they don't push, okay? So this is where the twin flame comes in now. Okay, so I was at a point in my life when my twin came in where I feel like I was like in a way settling. And I'm not talking about my husband, but I'm talking about everything else in my life, like my job, I was settling. Who I accepted into my life as far as friendships and family, that was like I was settling. I wasn't really being, there was parts of me that I was not really being true to, okay? So I know that when that twin flame came in, that was to kind of really push me. I mean, I wasn't even on YouTube, okay? Before my twin, okay? I would have never considered going on YouTube. I would have never considered actually pushing myself and throwing myself out to the jungle and seeing what would happen, okay? I was very like complacent in life, okay, at that time. And I was willing to like settle for that in life. I was okay with that. I mean, maybe deep down I wasn't, but I was just like, that's just the way I was living. Now, when the twin came in, something happened through eye contact. As you guys know, most of you, I did not entertain it. But we had a lot of interactions where we would have these stare downs, like in hallways, and they would last for 30 seconds. And there was something about the eye contact that I received a lot of downloads when those would happen, because it was just a stare down and it was like time stopped. And I don't know what happened, okay? It was like the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced. So when that person did come in, I started changing my life like crazy. Now I'm gonna tell you what it's like to meet a twin flame. But before that, I just wanna tell you how important it is. You will know if you met your twin flame, not only because the interaction is so bizarre. It's like, it almost feels like a haunting or something supernatural that's happening to you. But you will find that if you start making all kinds of drastic changes in your life, so when that person came in, I cut out family members, and I'm talking about close family members, okay? Like close, all right? I started to notice that, like, you know, why am I saying yes to everybody? Like, hell no, that needs to stop. Thirdly, I started to realize too that I was not meant for a regular job. Like, that's not where my purpose was, okay? So I kind of started to change everything in those categories like overnight, okay? I would say within like 2 years. Like, that's a lot in 2 years, okay? I also started to kind of evolve past what I thought was possible. So I was always psychic since a child, but you know, everything accelerated with my gifts also too when I met them. It was happening all the time now. So, you know, I was psychic before, but you know, then I had communication coming through like the floodgates from the other side, okay, when that person came in. So everything got heightened in my life. It was like color became brighter. It was like interesting, okay? So what it's like to meet your twin flame. Right off the bat from the first meeting, you will know something is different. And again, for me, it was like every time the person would come into the room, I didn't hear nothing and I didn't see anything. I only felt the energy of the person, and it was so extreme that that 6 months that I spent at that job where I met them, I lost 30 pounds without stepping foot in a gym, okay? Because the energy off the person was so strong that I don't know what happened to my body. Like, I was eating, but I couldn't gain weight. And instead, I not just to stop gaining weight, I even lost it. And I never went to a gym, okay? The person enters your dream state. It becomes like an obsession. You think you're going nuts. You think you need to go to a mental institute. It's like on steroids, the interaction at first, okay? Now, if you are able to really take a step back. I mean, I my heart is really for anybody who in the beginning feels this way, because it's definitely something you have to overcome. But now that I'm almost 6 years in on that journey, I don't have it like that anymore. Okay, it's faded a bit, but I also at the same time, early on, started to recognize why that person came in. It was not about being with them. And I never wanted to do that anyways, okay? I mean, yes, in a perfect world, if that person had come in before my husband, I would have said yes to marriage like within 2 minutes of meeting them, okay? That's how extreme it was, okay? I would have in a heartbeat been with them. But I look at why that person came in at the time they did, okay? Being married, you know, with kids and whatnot. And I started to realize, maybe without really knowing on it, that I needed to start changing things about my life. That's how it happened. And I took my focus off them. and I put it completely on me. Now, I've moved mountains since I've, in these past 6 years. I'm doing things I never thought I would do, okay? And again, my creativity is flowing. I never really had that before. I was like dead inside. That person brought me to life, and the opportunities that come in are just endless, okay? They're just endless. So with a twin flame, yes, it can be very painful, but as a person who I feel like at my stage has graduated from this, you gotta really look at it like something that was set up by your higher self to really push you beyond anything you could have imagined and give you literally anything that you want. Because there's something that happens when a twin flame comes in. It's almost like you have this like vision, and you get so much faith in yourself, and you have like, it gives you this boost. There's something about meeting the person that through the journey, you start to get this like amazing self-confidence about yourself. Like, you see where I'm going here, how this thing is, gets brought into your life to do this for you. So look at it as a gift. Don't ever look at it like, oh my God, am I being punished for this? Because that's usually a person who is thinking about being with them, okay? If you can take your focus off of that and shift it onto yourself, you will be able to move mountains whether you're with the person or not. The person will always be there. I'm still haunted by the person 6 years later. They're still in my dream state. I still see their name everywhere. I still think about them probably maybe, I don't know, every week, like once a week. It's not like it was before. Before it was insane, okay? And just, probably you're wondering what happened. I left that job because I couldn't handle the interactions. I mean, we didn't say much to each other. We were in different departments. So when that person would come into my, department daily, just for like 5 minutes, I literally could not, just for even 5 minutes, handle the interaction. So think about that. When have you ever heard somebody talk like that? Like, why wouldn't you be able to like handle somebody coming into your department? Like, that's why I'm trying to tell you, like, this connection, it's on steroids. And if I always get kind of a little bit taken aback, or I wonder about people who say that they had this, a relationship with their twin and they were able to talk to them. I mean, I don't really understand that. I really don't. Because I wasn't even able to talk to the person, and neither were they able to me. This is how shocked we were by both of us, by the connection that we literally, I could see on their face, they were feeling exactly what I was feeling. But just to even get to talk to the person, I don't even know how you do that. Okay. I really don't. So sometimes when I see people, especially on YouTube, who are together on these channels, I don't know about that. They look very soulmate to me. Or when I hear people saying that, they had this relationship with them and they were able to sleep with them, and there was nothing really like that crazy about it. Like, to even get the like to that point that you're able to sleep with your twin, oh my God, like I don't even know what that's like, okay? Because you're so nervous and the connection is so strong. That in itself is something you need to master. So be very careful with what you're watching on the internet. A lot of people have people thinking that they've met their twin, and they have not, okay? If you were able to kind of talk to the person and say, hey, you want to go for a coffee? I'm sorry, I don't think that's a twin flame, okay? This is the highest level interaction or meeting that anyone can possibly have in their life. And when it comes in, it shakes up your whole effing world, okay? And I'm not talking about heartache, okay? I'm talking about you start doing all kinds of different things, things you would never, ever imagine. To be honest, even your soulmate, like my example, my husband, he was like, wow. Like, he will even say, because I told him everything about this person. And again, this is where the soulmate comes in. He will never judge you, okay? The soulmate will not judge you. My soulmate, even though he was hurt by it a bit, it never affected our relationship. And he actually appreciated my honesty. So I'm also his soulmate as well, too, because I told him the truth about it. But even him, he says to me, like, since that person came into your life, like, you just kind of, like, he tells me all the time, like, it's amazing, like, how, like, quickly you're moving. Like, it's because he's not really moving, like, at that pace, right? So even he noticed it, okay? So I've been talking for 24 minutes. Hopefully you're not, bored at this point. I don't want to continue anymore just because I don't want this to make, again, I know you guys are very busy. So I'm going to kind of get into the cards now and see what they want to say. Okay. We're going to draw 3 cards for each scenario. Let's see what the cards want us to know about these types of interactions. Okay. So what do the cards want my viewers and I to know about karmics? What do they want us to know about karmics? Karmic relationships. Karmic relationship. It's so funny. This was the one that fell out. Okay, this is like toxicity, okay? So funny. I'm not going to leave it out. If it comes out again, it's meant to, but I thought that this was hilarious that this came out because this is the card of literally like toxic relationships. If you see the guy on this, okay, she's running away from him and he's literally not in shape, okay? He's not in a good shape to have any type of relationship with her. And this is what a karmic will feel like. They'll be extremely toxic, have a lot of issues, and you are not going to want to really stay with them because they will drag you down. Okay, so funny that popped out, but let's just see here. So what do the cards want us to know about karmics? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, it's about growth, okay? So I feel like with the Queen of Wands, this is literally the passion and the fire. So another way that you can kind of, besides what I've told you, look at karmics or easily detect one is that it's going to be full of passion, okay, with the Queen of Wands. It could make you even feel that way as well, too. This is why she's represented by wands. But with the Devil, these two are chained together. Look at them. And it's interesting because I did mention when I was talking about karmics that it feels like there's an energy of the Devil around. These two are chained together until they learn what they need to do, okay? And it's almost like I feel like a relationship, even though it's for your highest good to learn, it has the energy of the Devil behind it, okay? Which means that should you not, evolve from this, you will stay in a state of hell with this person until you learn. Now, should you graduate, look at this person. You could become very abundant, okay? You can become very abundant with this card should you graduate. It's almost like she has all the tools. She's succeeded. She's graduated. All those pentacles, even though they're money, they're all the lessons she learned. And she can move forward in grace, in honesty, being herself. But it's funny, though, like that we got this card of abundance because you really do feel like that, though, when you've broken free from one. I'm telling you, you do, because, and even if you break free from one karmic, but you haven't learned, you will keep meeting the same person over again. I know one person who's in their 70s. They've been married 4 times. And if you look at all of their 4 husbands, they're all the same person, okay? So they didn't exactly learn, okay? So it's one thing to leave, but it's also not to repeat, okay? So again, notice the red flags because with the karmics, I'm telling you, it will be so off-putting. You will get red flags. You'll get stuff in your gut that says, no. Listen to that, okay? Interesting. With the Queen of Wands, it could be a very fun relationship as well, too. That's why it's definitely hard to break free. It's so funny. The Justice card was on the bottom, too, as well. This reading is actually very magical with the cards today. The Justice card was on the bottom. So there's karmic debt to be paid off between the two of you. And if you can do that in this life, you will not meet them again, okay? I guarantee you will not. Now let's talk about soulmates. What do the cards want us to know about soulmates? What do you want us to know about soulmates? What do you want us to know about soulmates? What do you want to tell us about that? Oh, goodness. So funny. This is funny. I like this. Okay, so with the King of Pentacles, again here, this is exactly what I was saying. It's going to feel very stable, very secure. The person could come in a way you will find most times in soulmates. They will come in with the Knight of Wands and they'll want to be that knight in shining armor. They'll want to save you. They'll want to help. But you could also, with this Rider card, be very successful in these types of relationships. So should you want to be with one, It has all the embodied energy of a relationship that can succeed. You can, if you want. So let's say your partner, your soulmate, is not really at your level as far as, pace wise. You can still have whatever you want with them. They're not going to stop you. Okay. They're not going to stop you. They're not going to judge you. The karmic will, okay? The karmic, perfect example, let's say you wanted to go start a business. The karmic will be like whining in your ear because, most likely they have some sort of hang up about attention, and they're not going to want to take you to do something with your life that's going to take away from them, your attention off of them or something like that, okay? It's not like that with a soulmate, but with the King of Pentacles, it's a very secure relationship, and it's stable. It's predictable with the King of Pentacles. It will be even enriched. So you can enrich. You usually prosper in these types of relationships, but it's interesting with the Knight of Wands. So it's almost like an energy that comes in quick. And this kind of makes me feel like what I was saying when I said to you, they'll come in and they'll usually, reveal themselves to you very quickly. They'll tell you they love you very quickly. They'll say they want to be with you. And I love that we got the Six of Wands with this, because this makes me feel like you could have a lot of success in your life by being with a soulmate. The soulmate's not going to stop you from evolving or doing your own thing. The soulmate will also not, like I had a period of time where I was going out like a lot. Okay. I had a women's social club. I was the host of a women's social club. And for 2 years, I was never home. I was going out every weekend. And my husband didn't do that. He was not like that. He's more of an introvert. And he never said to me, stay home. He never said, no, I don't want you going out. He never said stuff like that. Okay, so they won't stop you from achieving your goals, which is beautiful. Okay, now let's find out what we need to know about twin flames. What do we need to know about twin flames? What do the cards want us to know about twin flames? What do the cards want us to know about twin flames? What do you want to tell my viewers and I about it? It's a connection of the mind. It's paired with the star. This is a connection that is of the highest. Okay, and it's about with the Two of Swords. It's interesting because you don't see it coming. Okay, it really has that shock value. Like, just imagine if you are on a roller coaster. Okay, and you're about to go down. That's what it's like when you first meet them. You don't even know what happened to you, but you will never see it coming. Now, with the Star card, it's definitely something designed by your higher self. This is very much about destiny, okay? But this is evolution as well, too, with the Star. And with the Ace of Swords, this is kind of beautiful, too, because it's almost like a relationship that is it works backwards. So it's not really like physical attraction, then love. It's more of the mind first, or spiritual, and then it works its way. You have all the other things too, but it's more about the mind, okay? What happens, and the mental clarity that you receive. So it's meant to come in to give you that mental clarity. And give me more on that mental clarity. What is that in regards to? Oh my God, that's beautiful. Self-love. I know a lot of you saw that Ace of Cups and thought I was going to say love. No, self-love. That's one thing that you achieve when you meet your twin. When that twin comes in, oh my goodness. I have a love for myself that is so beyond anything I ever had before. Like, for the longest time, I never would leave my house without makeup. I stopped wearing makeup. Okay, I will wear it certain events, but I don't wear it like I used to, and I don't care. I don't care what anybody says, okay? It will give you that mental clarity with self-love that is on steroids, okay? And it's meant to come in to do that. It's almost like even a gift as well too, because what better gift is the gift of self-love? You find that when you meet them, okay? Wow, this was very fun for me to do. Let me know what you guys thought. Please comment and engage. It really does help my Patreon page, especially, I like to know what the feedback is with you guys. If you enjoy this, these types of readings, what you think about them. Please share your views and your opinions. I really love that. But this was a very fun reading for me. So I'm going to leave it here. Let me know what you thought, guys. And thank you again so much.